Hola, ¿cómo están? Yo soy Karim Saba en otra edición especial de PowerMetal.cl, el podcast live. Esta vez, sí, en unos segundos vamos a estar conversando con John Yelland, creo que se pronuncia así directamente, le vamos a preguntar, de Judicator, y junto a él estará también Francisco Perez, el sorprendente chileno al que descubrimos que participó en el último disco de Judicator llamado The Majesty of Decay. Así que, sin más preámbulo, los presento primero a don John Yelland, que está desde Estados Unidos, desde Utah, y a Francisco Pérez desde Santiago de Chile. Hi, how are you?
Oh, hello.
Hello, very good, very good.
Ok, para que la gente entienda, como siempre yo voy a hacer la entrevista, hago las preguntas. Francisco esta vez nos va a estar ayudando porque también habla muy bien el inglés, y vamos a ir traduciendo a la gente para que entienda, porque claramente la entrevista es en inglés. John, normally we do an interview. If you answer in English, I will have to take some time to explain to the Latin people what are you saying. So if it's not a problem, if Francisco está listo, le damos. Let's go.
Yep.
Let's go.
Démosle.
So, first of all, John, congratulations for the Judicator latest release, one that I consider one of the best of the year in this genre.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very happy with how the album has been received by people and critics alike. We took a very big risk with this album creatively, so it's very validating and makes me feel very good that the risk seems to have paid off and everybody seems to have really enjoyed the album.
Ok, so, básicamente John nos dice, voy a cambiar un poquito esto para que sea más normal. John nos cuenta que él está muy contento con el álbum, que tomaron hartos riesgos, vamos a estar comenzando un poco de eso, y que las críticas y la gente ha alabado el álbum. Francisco, ¿estoy bien en lo que
Sí.
traduje? Perfecto. So, ¿dónde está la entrevista? Ok. How was the reception of the album been so far by the fans and by the critics? What kind of feedback had you received?
Well, the first single that we released, The High Priestess, was a really big curveball. And so a lot of people had concerns, of course, because The High Priestess is a very different kind of song. Very different from anything we have done before. But once the other singles came out and the album itself came out, I think people really understood what we were trying to achieve and what the album as a whole actually was. So I think it put a lot of people at ease to hear the whole thing. I've been very happy. This is the first album that we have released as a band that has gotten 5 out of 5 and 10 out of 10 reviews. We've made it in top 10 end of the year lists, number 9, number 3. We even made Wonderbox Metal's album of the year. So I'm very happy with how the album has been received so far.
Bueno, le preguntamos directamente a John más cómo ha sido la recepción formal del álbum y sobre todo el disco. Y él nos cuenta que The High Priestess, que es, Francisco, tú participaste en ese tema, ¿no?
Sí.
Yeah. Entiendo que la parte de los vientos.
En ese tema yo estuve haciendo los teclados, todos los teclados y los arreglos de viento.
Okay.
Así como las partituras y todo eso.
Perfecto, para que se entienda, Francisco es un chileno compositor, yo no lo conocía hasta hoy día. Él fue invitado a participar del álbum, ahí nos va a estar contando cómo, y él participó tanto en segundas voces, en teclado, y en particular esta canción que fue, como decía John, que fue bastante especial, porque The High Priestess probablemente es el tema más distinto del disco, que la gente no lo entendió mucho hasta que escuchó completamente el disco de los nuevos y lo más single, y que se sorprendió que hay muchos 10 de 10, 5 de 5, y que en algún par de sitios incluso fue elegido el álbum del año. Why, John, did you decide to put a High Priestess like the first single? Because it's, I think, the most different song of the album. Para la gente que no ha escuchado, es una canción bastante especial de High Priestess. Why? Why do you say that?
That is a very good question.
Why?
I personally wanted Ursa Major to be our first single because I feel that it is closer to our older music. And so I felt that Ursa Major would be the most appropriate song to make our first single. But our drummer, Jordan Elsas, he felt very strongly that the High Priestess should be our first single because it's bold, it's new, it's daring, and it is sort of a statement that we are strong but different. And I can't remember the entire conversation, but he convinced me and he convinced the rest of the band that the High Priestess should be the first song that we release.
Okay. Le preguntaba por qué The High Priestess, que para la gente que no ha escuchado el disco, es probablemente el tema más distinto. De nuevo Francisco participó de parte de eso con la parte de los vientos, un tema muy, muy especial, que no se asemeja probablemente a nada de lo que venía haciendo o por lo que es conocido Judicator. Y John nos comenta que Ursa Mayor, un tema que es mucho más Judicator, is more Judicator, era su single preferido, era su canción para el single, pero el baterista en una conversación le dijo, ¿sabes qué? Este tema es distinto, es nuevo, es atrevido, es algo que la gente no espera y deberíamos jugarnos con esto porque la gente va a quedar así como, ¿qué va se viene? Y de ahí salió. I have to tell John that one of my friends that loves Judicator, when he first listened to the High Priestess, what the fuck is this? And he said, he tells me that, Karim, have you listened the new Judicator single? Because I think it's shit. I say, okay, I will listen. I say, I don't think this is shit, but this is Judicator. What happened? So I have this is a real story.
To be fair, the first time I heard it, it was like, wait, is this really going into the album? Like, it sounds very different to what I've heard so far from Judicator.
Yeah, we were in a very difficult situation because the co-founder of the band, Alicia Cordisco, she wrote like 99% of the music up until 2020 when she left the band. So we're in a situation where our primary songwriter has left the band. What do we do? What do we do? So we weighed our options. We could continue to write music that sounds like what Alicia Cordisco would write. But we felt if we try to write like her, then it might be interpreted as inauthentic or like we're trying. And then we would be compared to her and her songwriting. And we just felt that it would be a better way to go to write music that comes to us from the heart, and that is more authentic to who we are, and that carries some risk and some danger because, you know, I really like Alicia Cordisco's writing and her music, but with this album, we definitely wanted to go in a different direction. And so we knew that this would be polarizing, which is part of why I wanted Ursa Major to be the first song that we release, because I knew that there were songs on the new album that are very different, which don't sound like traditional Judicator. It sounds like a totally different band because in some sense it is. Alicia Cordisco isn't writing the music anymore, and that was a big part of our identity. So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And I just am glad to see that most people are embracing the new direction, even if it is really different. I totally respect that. It's okay if you don't like some of it. It's fine.
Ok, le pregunté le conté una historia porque realmente yo conversando con David Aranea, uno de los primeros parte del podcast, él me mandó, le gusta Judicator y me mandó el single cuando salió de High Priestess, que es el primer single de la banda. Dijo, oye Karim, ¿qué es esto? Esto me parece que es mierda, es malo. Yo le dije, o mierda, yo le dije, ¿sabéis qué? Me parece que no sé lo que es esto. Y le preguntamos, le conté esa experiencia y él dice que sí, que en el fondo, para que entiendan, sale de la banda Alicia Cordisco, que prácticamente escribió el 100% de todo lo que tocó Judicator hasta el disco anterior. Él decidió junto con la banda que tenían que buscar un estilo personal. En un momento pensó que Ursa Mayor era el tema que iban a lanzar como primer single, pero después lo pensaron y al final Ursa Mayor se parecía a lo que hacía Judicator y ellos querían presentar este nuevo Judicator que parte de lo que viene ahora, y The High Priestess era probablemente el tema que lo representaba. ¿Algo a aportar, Francisco?
No, creo que...
Que entre entrevistado y ayudante, así que la raja Francisco motivado. John, I understand that this is a very personal album. I have listened, reading some interviews to you. In terms of these lyrics, it's a kind of continuation of At the Expense of Humanity, an album that you write. I know that when your brother dies, something like that. Do you feel it that way? If so, how do you think can people notice what things in the album says this is the real me?
Yeah. I think that my fascination with death has been something that we have explored in our historical albums as well. But with At the Expense of Humanity and The Majesty of Decay, that fascination and anxiety about death is much more in your face. It's much more prominent. So, yeah, I mean, I would say that with At the Expense of Humanity and The Majesty of Decay, you are getting a pretty clear view into who I am. Although it's the sort of bad parts of who I am, I guess. But I think that there is a lot for people to identify with in both of these stories. I think that these are two albums which are relatable to a lot of people, because they're my experiences, but I'm not so incredibly special. I mean, tons of other people have gone through what I've gone through. It's just that I'm putting it in a concept album. Yeah.
Okay, le pregunté directamente sobre lo personal, entendiendo que por lo que ha hecho en otra entrevista, ha comentado que este probablemente es un disco muy personal en las líricas, que de hecho se sería como una continuación de At the Expense of Humanity, un disco que él escribió cuando falleció su hermano. Y él dice que sí, que probablemente en todos los discos de Judicator el tema de la muerte está muy presente, pero probablemente At the Expense of Humanity, que es el disco que escribió en esos tiempos, o sea, en las letras, y este disco que vino después de toda un término, una etapa, la salida de Alicia Cordisco, lo que vino probablemente con la pandemia, todo, también lo sintió mucho más profundo. Entonces, sí, es algo que tiene que ver con lo que él siente sobre la muerte y la exploración del tema, que probablemente es mucho más patente en The Majesty of Decay. No sé si Francisco, algo...
Y claro, y que además John simplemente es alguien que lo pudo poner así como en canciones, en letras, que al final es una historia que le puede pasar a él, te puede pasar a ti, me puede pasar a mí, me puede pasar a cualquiera.
Okay, John, how complex was it to take full of control? I don't think full of control, or take major control of Judicator yourself, considering the departure of Alicia, a founding member of the band. I don't know. How was that?
I took for granted, or really, I didn't fully appreciate how much work Alicia did until she left and somebody had to do what she was doing. So Alicia had, for all those years, basically been our band manager. So we had to come together to learn the financial side, to write the music, to handle logistics with like performing and arranging for studio time. I could go on, but there was a lot that we had to come together and learn how to do. And it's an ongoing process. It's still a learning process. But when you go through difficult times, you grow. And I think that I've learned a lot. So as bad as it was that Alicia left the band, and as much as that hurt and sucked, there are also some good things that have come of it.
Le preguntamos directamente para que los que no conozcan a Judicator. Judicator nace, y le vamos a estar preguntando un poco más, después de un concierto de Blind Guardian, cuando John Yelland conoce a Alicia Cordisco, que fue probablemente hasta lo que teníamos entendido la compositora principal de la banda. Le pregunté qué ocurre, cómo es tener el control completamente de la banda o casi de la banda tras su salida. Ahora, John nos dice que no solo era el tema compositivo, sino que ella era la manager de la banda, se encargaba de la parte financiera, se encargaba de ver el tema con los sellos, se encargaba de agendar los conciertos, agendar los ensayos, todo. Y por un lado fue pegarse como un guatazo, o sea, como descubrir que hay un montón de cosas que giran alrededor de una banda y que nadie te cuenta. Pero a la vez, eso le da un carácter especial porque significó descubrir un montón de cosas que no tenían claro y que los hizo crecer como banda. Entonces, claro, fue un momento difícil, pero la opción de, por decirlo así, dejar morir Judicator no estaba y decidieron hacer el ajuste y lanzarse. Y en eso está The Majesty of Decay, que es el resultado de todos esos cambios. Que probablemente, si ustedes escuchan el disco, todos los discos anteriores a este van a notar que no es lo mismo, que hay una forma de composición distinta, todo, y que ahí está la gracia. Francisco, ¿algo?
No, está perfecto.
Now, about Francisco, I want to ask you, John, about the participation of Francisco Perez. How did it come to be, and what was it about him that made you think, I want to have him playing in the Majesty of Decay? How do you meet him?
Do you want to take it?
Yeah, sure. Do you want me to do it in Spanish, English? Or...
And the same, I think, the two.
¿Español?
If you want to do it in Spanish, go for it.
Bueno, yo a John lo conozco desde el 2015, 2015, I think I met you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually met him when, lo conocí cuando había salido At the Expense of Humanity y lo pillé por YouTube en algún momento y lo agregué a Facebook y le mandé una caricatura. Do you remember the drawing I did? So we started talking and empezamos a hablar y John Yelland me ayudó con un proyecto para la universidad. Tenía que grabar un disco, estaba grabando un disco de metal, el cual todavía no sale. Me ayudó grabando uno de los temas, que de hecho creo que está en YouTube por ahí dando vueltas. Y después de eso, me ayudó con mi examen de título también. Le pedí ayuda para grabar voces en el examen de título. Y me acuerdo que para ese examen de título mezclé muchas cosas, era metal sinfónico, había charangos, había quenas, había de todo metido por ahí. Y me acuerdo que John en algún momento me dijo que le había quedado gustando el sonido del charango. Y me preguntó si lo podía ayudar con una parte del disco Judicator para agregarle este charango que le había gustado el sonido. Y yo le dije, oye, pero te ayudo con todo el resto del disco si yo no tengo ningún problema. Y ahí empezamos a trabajar en el disco.
So John, he was telling that he sent you a
This drawing.
yes, and he was telling us
everything.
about that you listen the charangos and all
Yeah.
kind of flute from
Yeah,
America.
on my degree, yeah.
Yes, and you say, "Oh, this is interesting." How do you feel about that? What is interesting for you that what kind of the music from Latin America? It's interesting. It's different. I don't know how to tell.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I really like Francisco. I think he's a terrific musician. I think he has a very creative mind. I really respect him as an artist, and I'm very, very happy that things have gone the way that they have, because he really brought a lot to the Majesty of Decay. And I think the Majesty of Decay without him would have been really good, but the Majesty of Decay with him is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, regarding Latin American music and instruments, I think it's called the charango.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I remember we were doing that song together, and there was charango in there, and I was like, "This sounds like a banjo," which I don't know if a banjo is an American thing or European. I don't know, but that instrument got me interested in Latin American instrumentation, and I think there are a lot of really interesting textures and sounds from Latin America that could be popularized in America and Europe, I guess. I think they're terrific instruments.
Ok, le preguntamos directamente ahora a John cómo se había dado esta relación y dice que escuchó el charango cuando empezaron a conversar y le pareció interesante porque se parecía a un banjo y de ahí empezó a relacionarse con los instrumentos latinoamericanos. John, have you listened sometime to Los Jaivas?
I don't think so.
Oh, you should.
Yeah, I think this is a very I think it will be very interesting for you. You can look for them in YouTube. They are a very, very important. I think it's the most important rock band or folk rock band from Chile. They are very known at Europe. They use all. I think they have played all the instruments from Latin America in their music, and they are like prog rock with folk. Is very, very interesting. I think if you like the sound of charango, the sound of Los Jaivas, it will be very interesting for you.
Yeah, I just got the correct spelling for it, Los Jaivas. I will definitely look that up after this for sure.
Okay. Francisco, for you, how does it feel to be part of Majesty of Decay? Francisco, básicamente que ahora me di vuelta idioma. Francisco, ¿qué se siente ser parte de Majesty of Decay?
Bueno, la verdad es un honor, porque una de mis metas, así como cuando era chico, o sea, cuando estaba como en cuarto medio y recién empecé a conocer a Judicator, era trabajar con Judicator. Y ahora que se dio, fue una experiencia genial, fue increíble trabajar con John. Los temas además están muy entretenidos, entonces yo lo disfruté mucho. Siempre me he relacionado mucho con el power metal, entonces era como todo fue genial para esto, entonces no, fue increíble.
Oye, pero Francisco, ¿por qué te gusta tanto Judicator? Principalmente, o sea, ¿por qué de todas las bandas, o sea, de todos los, probablemente, o sea, uno habla de Halloween, de Gamma Ray, no sé, de Bishop Divine, Città Italia, Rhapsody en Estados Unidos, Queensryche. ¿Por qué Judicator te mueve tanto? ¿Qué tiene Judicator que no tienen, que te hizo, yo quiero trabajar con ellos? John, I'm asking to Francisco, because he sees that one of his dreams was to work with you, to work with Judicator. So I am asking, why Judicator? Why not Halloween? Why not Beach on Divine? Why not Manowar? Why not Queensryche? Why Judicator?
Bueno, la verdad, primero que nada, porque ya era muy amigo de John y porque la banda yo la encuentro muy buena. La música de el disco de At the Expense of Humanity es de mis discos favoritos, lo encuentro en verdad genial. Y siempre quise trabajar además con John, porque John fue la primera persona probablemente, así como del mundo del power metal, así como más grande, que me dio una oportunidad y que me ayudó con uno de mis temas. Yo, que era alguien que nadie conocía, básicamente, entonces como que siempre me sentí muy apegado a su música y a él como persona, porque también me ha ayudado bastante.
Okay. John is telling us that that you have supported him all the time. So for him to work with you, you was the first guy, the first big guy that listened him and supported him. So he said, I want to work with him in Judicator because of that, because your support.
Yeah, after this experience of working with him on the Majesty of Decay, we had a talk about, like, should you join the band or something? But
cool.
We just kind of came to a place where it's like he's so far away that it wouldn't really make sense. So we call him an unofficial band member, or like a member of the team, but maybe not an official band member or something. But we really enjoy working with him.
Okay. De hecho, nos acaba de contar John que incluso pensaron tener a Francisco como miembro oficial de la banda, pero básicamente las distancias lo hacen poco útil porque no podría presentarse en ningún show. Pero técnicamente es un miembro, es como el quinto Beatle, una cosa así. O sea, en el fondo, he's like the fifth Beatle, like something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
O sea, un miembro que es parte de la banda, pero no lo consideran porque lamentablemente las distancias son insalvables. Francisco, ¿estás feliz con tu contribución? ¿Hay algo que tú piensas que podía haber agregado a tu performance? I'm asking to Francisco if he is happy with the contribution and he's think that he will do something different.
No, yo creo que estoy bien contento con cómo quedó el disco. Siento que las partes que tenían orquestas estaban bien, de ahí las partes que no eran necesarios teclados también estaba perfecto, entonces como que siento que aporté todo lo que podía aportar y yo creo que eso para mí es lo justo y necesario, o sea, no necesito más, yo feliz con poder ayudar en lo que sea.
Okay, Francisco said that he is very happy with his contribution, but John, are you happy with the contribution of Francisco, for real?
Very, very happy. Absolutely. I think about the High Priestess, what he brought to that, Metamorphosis, Judgment, the Majesty of Decay, Euphoric Parasitism, in which there's the Chirango, From the Belly of the Whale. The ending of From the Belly of the Whale reminds me of the soundtrack from the movie Interstellar. I love what Francisco did in From the Belly of the Whale. You can hear him in every song, and whether there's a lot going on or a little, it's just great.
Nos dice básicamente que está muy contento con el aporte de High Priestess, en particular con al final de In the Belly of the Whale, una canción que dice que para él el final se parece mucho a la música de la película Interstellar. O sea, él está contento con esto. And there is a question for both. Is this going to be... I know that he is the fifth Beatle, but this is the last collaboration. There will be other things, not Judicator, like Perez and Yelland, something different?
We are in Judicator. Well, outside of so Francisco, I think will continue to work with Judicator. We have a lot of stuff that is coming up that he'll be a part of. As long as he wants to do it, we would love to have him on board. As far as stuff outside of Judicator goes, it's only difficult because I have a full-time job, a family, Judicator, and only a little time outside of that. So I'm very interested and open to doing other things together. It's just it might have to take a longer time because I'm so busy. But hypothetically, like I'm very open because I enjoy working with Francisco. If he needs backing vocals or any way I can help, I would love to.
And I mean, we've already worked together before. We've worked 2 times before, I think.
Yeah.
With my degree, this 17 minute long song, and that song we did like 4 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also have a Halloween cover that we haven't quite finished.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what we do. Maybe we do covers together.
Yeah.
Interesting. Bueno, le preguntamos si hay planes de trabajar juntos y básicamente John nos dice que Francisco es parte de Judicator mientras él quiera ser parte de Judicator. Que lamentablemente, como casi todos lo saben, o sea, el mundo del metal es así. Todas las personas, son muy pocos los que se pueden, ni siquiera yo, pueden dedicarse a esto, ser reportero, ser músico, todo tiempo completo. John tiene un trabajo tiempo completo. De hecho, él está en el estudio actualmente de su trabajo y nos dice que de todas formas, así hablando hipotéticamente, siempre hay ganas de trabajar con Francisco. Okay, I have the next question. John, after a month of album release, because it have released at the end of November, what do you like most about the Majesty of Decay, and what you like to have done something differently?
What I like about the Majesty of Decay and what I would have done differently.
Yes.
What I like about the Majesty of Decay is I feel very good because like I said before, we took some pretty big risks and it seems like they paid off. I'm very happy that people are overall really liking the album. The other thing I'll say that was really great is working with a live brass section. So what you hear in the High Priestess, the saxophone on Metamorphosis, not everything, of course. Some of it is programmed, but the brass in the High Priestess and the saxophone in Metamorphosis are real, so that's cool. As far as something that I would have done differently, it's hard to say because assuming I could go back in time, it wouldn't change the limitations that we had. So the things that I would have changed about the process, the only thing I could say that I would change is we delivered the album to Prosthetic Records late, and I really do not like doing that. I very much like to deliver on time. It's very important that if you say we're meeting at 6 o'clock, I'm there at 6 o'clock. If I tell you we're going to deliver the album before the end of the year, January 1st comes and you have the album. So, I mean, that's the only thing I think I would have liked to have been done differently.
Le pregunté a John directamente qué es lo que más le gusta de Majesty of Decay y qué no le gustó. Dice que básicamente le gustó el tratar de hacer las cosas cómo se hicieron. O sea, el fondo, primero que el álbum es muy personal y es una nueva experiencia y se atrevieron con cosas que no habían hecho. Además, una cosa en particular que le encantó fue trabajar con bronces, no como los bronces que se entienden acá en Sudamérica, sino que no un conjunto de bronce, sino que se refiere al uso de un saxo, algunos instrumentos que se pueden
O sea,
notar en...
hubo también trompetas, creo que trompetas, there were trumpets and saxophones, right?
Sorry, what?
There were trumpets and saxophones on, yeah.
2 trumpets and 1 saxophone.
Ok. Dice que hubieron 2 trompetas y un saxofón en The High Priestess, en Metamorphosis y en uno tema más. O sea, algunas cosas fueron procesadas, pero el agregar estos instrumentos le gustó mucho. O sea, trabajar con cosas que darle más instrumentos, empezar a jugar con cosas. Ahora, una cosa que por la personalidad de él no le gustó fue llegar tarde con el trabajo. Prosthetic Record tenía una fecha, él entregó el álbum tarde y eso en lo personal no le gustó, porque él es de esas personas que se dicen vamos a lanzar el disco antes de fin de año. Él no puede salir el 1 de enero, tiene que salir el 31 de diciembre máximo. O sea, en fondo él es muy de acorde a los tiempos. The next question, what's the next for both? Francisco, you have, para Francisco, tú tienes un proyecto de metal progresivo y has trabajado también en el último single que lanzó Catalana, que tuvimos entrevistado acá hace un tiempo. For John, you have Judicator, and also many of us, a lot of fans were asking, many of us missed Dire Peril. What can you guys tell about what your next projects?
Do you want to go first or me, Francisco?
Please.
Yeah, Dire Peril is just done. I really like the work that I did in Dire Peril, and I would like to do it again. But for where Jason Ashcraft is right now in life, he needs to take a step back. Like, he's just really overwhelmed, and so he had to cut some things out of his life for his sanity, and Dire Peril was one of those things.
Okay.
But the other question was, what's next for us?
Yes.
Okay. All
what's
right.
next for you?
Okay. Well, I mean, really music related. Judicator, we are working on an EP that will be out next year. It could be spring or it could be summer. So there's an
PowerMetal.cl exclusive.
Maybe I don't know. It'll have to go through prosthetic, but maybe.
No, but this is the first time that you tell us that.
I mean, maybe.
Okay. So, Judicator is working a new EP for the next year.
Yeah. So we next year we will release an EP, and then 2024 will be a new full-length album. But other than that, in 2023 we have a festival performance in Vancouver and another show that we'll be doing in Salt Lake City.
Okay. Bueno, para la primera parte, John nos cuenta que Dire Peril era un proyecto con Jason Ashcraft y que de Helion Prime, si no me equivoco. Actualmente, por cosas de Jason y de su salud mental, él tuvo que cortar con algunos proyectos y uno de esos tuvo que ser Dire Peril, porque en verdad necesita espacio para él. Entonces, por ahora, si bien a John le encantaría hacer una segunda parte, por ahora eso no se ve posible porque Jason necesita espacio para él. Y lo segundo es que se viene con Judicator, pseudo exclusiva, porque no sabes si he hablado antes de esto, ya está confirmado un nuevo EP para el 2023 y un nuevo disco para el 2024. Y ahora, Francisco, what happened with Francisco? ¿Qué se viene con Francisco?
Bueno, por mi lado, ahora mismo estoy full dedicado a la música para juegos, películas, series, diseño sonoro también para juegos. Ahora mismo estoy trabajando en un videojuego que se llama Bionic Bay, que debería salir el próximo año, creo. En cuanto al metal, tengo intenciones en algún momento de lanzar mi disco de Power Metal en el que trabajé con John. También hay invitados de Finlandia. Está la Ciporali de Navigate. Y está también Sosos Michael de Glory Hammer.
Ya.
Tengo intenciones de lanzarlo en algún momento, no sé cuándo, pero en algún momento. Y eso, también seguir con mi proyecto de metal progresivo instrumental, que ahora acabo de lanzar disco, pero probablemente quizás en un futuro se venga otro. Y eso más que nada.
Bueno, Francisco, tú sabes que la puerta de PowerMetal.cl están abiertas. De hecho, el disco no lo he alcanzado a comentar porque salió muy encima, pero probablemente ya para el próximo año estaremos dándole. Pero no tenemos ni idea que trabajáis en videojuegos. Eso es nuevo. I think this is the very first time that John and Francisco are talking
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
¿No?
Yeah,
Correct.
it is.
Esta es la primera vez que John y Francisco están en una entrevista juntos. Supongo que han conversado antes, pero esto es toda una exclusiva de PowerMetal.cl.
Y nos conocemos desde el 2015.
So, like if they are like 2015, they know each other. So
Yeah.
this is the very first time. This is amazing.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Okay. Personal question for John. Here at PowerMetal.cl, we absolutely love Hansi Koch. We love. This is we think this he is one of the best singers in the story of the metal and power metal, and we amazed. We the God Machine. We love what he sings. So I like to ask, how did it feel when Hansi agreed to sing in The Last Emperor?
Well, Hansi actually sang with me before that.
Okay.
In my first band called Dysphoria, we had an album called The Age of Ether, and he sang for us on a song called The Dying Firmament. And so I was very happy to get him on The Last Emperor. But when I got the email response from him that he would do The Dying Firmament with me, oh man, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It was it's a morning I'll never forget. I woke up to the email, and I didn't cry, but I was ecstatic and very, 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 very dumbfounded.
Ok, le preguntamos directamente a John, que nosotros le dijimos, acá en PowerMetal.cl, nosotros amamos a Hansi Koch por lo que sea. Que cante, lo que baila, tap, lo vamos a amar. Y le preguntamos directamente si él, qué sintió cuando Hansi le respondió que iba a cantar en el disco Last Emperor. Primero nos cuenta que en Dysphoria, su primera banda, ya había participado Hansi, pero que cuando recibió ese mail, o sea, él le envió el mail antes, cuando él despertó esa mañana y vio el mail de Hansi, o sea, voy a participar, ya como que explotó de emoción. So I had to ask John, there's a lot of people that says that Judicator is like the American Blind Guardian. Okay? I think it was in the first album. Right now, I think not. But what do you think about that? That saying that for one part you are being compared with your, I think something like your heroes, and for other part, some guys can say, no, this is not a very real band. Like they are just a copycat.
Yeah, I've actually had this conversation with Hansi himself, and
okay, cool.
Yeah, that's not a concern on Hansi's side. He doesn't think that. He did name some other bands who he would view as copycats.
Savage Circus.
I'm not going to name names, but yeah. So when the Papa himself tells me that it's not an issue and that he doesn't think that, I'm fine with it. I personally don't think that Judicator's music sounds really that much like Blind Guardian. I think the comparisons probably come because I use some of the same techniques that Hansi does when singing. But I've kind of it's still a tool that I really enjoy using, but I don't use it as much as I used to. What really perplexes me is people who have made comparisons between the Majesty of Decay and Blind Guardian. I think the Majesty of Decay does not sound like Blind Guardian really at all.
Only
And
sometimes your voice, sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Like the vocals, and that's about pretty much it. So I don't know. I think it is one of those things that got some traction, and so now it just keeps repeating like, oh yeah, Judicator is the Blind Guardian band, when it's not really true, but everybody keeps saying it. I don't know.
Ok, le preguntaba directamente qué se siente. O sea, hay gente que dice que Judicator son los Blind Guardian norteamericanos. Probablemente yo sí debo decir que los primeros discos pueden tener más, pero The Majesty of Decay me parece que no tiene ni salvo algunos momentos, no tiene grandes cosas de Blind Guardian como tal. Y él dice que primero que tuvo esta conversación con Hansi Kutch, y él dice que Hansi le dijo que hay otras bandas que no nombró, que se parecen realmente y son clones de Blind Guardian, pero que el mismo Hansi, que es el Papa, como lo dijo él, no le parece para nada parecido. O sea, que salvo similitudes, sobre todo por el tema vocal, que él lo reconoce, que John Yelland reconoce que usa algunas técnicas vocales muy parecidas. Salvo eso, siente que, y en particular en The Majesty of Decay, no hay muchas similitudes con Blind Guardian. I have the next question. I forgot. Okay, this is the end of the year for all. If you have to tell, and Francisco is the question for us, for both, what are the best, like the 5 or the 10 or one album to the people, to the fans? John Yelland listed this. This is the best album of this year.
I can't say this is the best album of the year, but my favorite album that I have enjoyed the most that came out this year was Necrogoblicon. They released an album called The Fundamental Slimes and Humors. I really just love Necrogoblicon. I think they're funny. I think they're smart. And the kind of music that they write is really progressive and interesting and fun.
Francisco.
La verdad, aquí me ponía en problemas porque no tengo mala memoria para saber qué discos salieron este año.
Pero algún disco que te acuerdes así como este año, que quizás al vuelo.
O sea, The Majesty of Decay, partiendo por.
Sí.
Es que en verdad no me acuerdo de ningún. ¿Qué bandas sacaron disco este año?
Chuta, te podría nombrar como 50, pero bueno. Ghost, Hammer.
El de Ghost, genial ese disco, me encantó. Lo tuve harto tiempo dando vueltas.
Labyrinth sacó disco este año.
¿Quién, perdón?
Labyrinth, italiano.
Ese no lo he escuchado todavía.
Salió en enero. De Chile, Merciless Law. Bueno, salieron hartos discos, pero...
Yeah. Overtone también sacó este año, ¿no? Overtone, también. Sí. Muy buen disco. Los cabros son geniales.
Ok. Bueno, le preguntamos algún disco en particular. Francisco nos dijo que no se acuerda mucho, pero que le gustó el de Ghost. John piensa que el disco de Necrogoblicon es uno de sus favoritos. Quizás no el mejor del año, pero uno de los discos que más lo sorprendió. I think we have... this is, I think, the last question for the both of us, especially for you, John. Wrapping up the interview, would you like to send... first, when we will have Judicator in Chile? What we have to do to have Judicator in Chile? And the first time you are playing with Francisco in live.
All right, so 2. If I could wave my magic wand, we would be performing in Chile next year.
Okay.
Realistically, what you would have to do to get us there sooner, I think, would be to help make us more popular in South America or Chile. If you can make us, the more popular we are in Chile, the more possible it is that somebody with money or a band who wants to tour can get us on the tour or the bill. It's going to take one of two things. It's either going to be the people of Chile pave a way for us to get into Chile, or it's going to take us investing a lot of our money into coming there. So
it's very difficult.
It doesn't have to be, but who knows? We will come to South America, but we don't have a lot of control over when we come.
Okay. This is why we do this interview. This is why PowerMetal.cl, we don't do a lot of interview in our podcast, but we have a very selected interview that there are not the guys that all the people have. All the people can have like Halloween. All the people can have Stratovarius, or maybe no one can have Manowar, no, but Blind Guardian, but have you, or have I think Timo Tolki some months ago, or Tom and Stouch that we interviewed like 3 months ago. They're very interesting interview, but we are looking for guys that very interesting. That they are not all the mediums give place. So for us, we love that you accept this interview, John.
Yeah, I am very grateful to be here, and I'm very happy to be doing the interview, especially with Francisco. And thank you both.
Okay, so the last question is, would you like to send a message to your Chilean and Latin American fans that may be waiting right now, or they will see this tomorrow, or maybe they can see it in Facebook, in YouTube, in Spotify, in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts?
Yeah, for sure. If you have enjoyed what you've heard so far, I'm John Yelland of Judicator, and this is Francisco Javier Perez. And we hope that you enjoy the Majesty of Decay, which is our new album. It was released last month, and it's doing great. We're happy about that. If you like what you hear when you listen to the Majesty of Decay, go ahead and look us up on social media. We have a Patreon, which is active, and we really enjoy doing that. If any of you know rich people, then show them the Majesty of Decay, and maybe they will reach into their bucket full of money and pay to fly us over there and perform for you. And that way we can perform for you next year, 2023, instead of something like 2027.
Ok. Francisco, antes de traducir, ¿alguna cosa que decir tú? ¿Algún mensaje de cierre?
Bueno, lo mismo que dijo John. Si les gustó el disco de Majesty of Decay, vayan a seguir a Judicator en las redes sociales, vayan a escucharnos en Spotify, y eso, para que siga creciendo la comunidad aquí que le gusta Judicator y los podamos tener pronto por aquí, por Chile y Sudamérica.
Ok, bueno, vamos cerrando la entrevista. John nos dice que básicamente él le encantaría estar el próximo año en Chile. No es fácil porque los costos tendría que... Entonces, si a usted le gusta Judicator, haga clic, make click, voy de álbum, compre el disco, sígalos en Spotify, porque todo eso suma a la posibilidad que algún día podamos tener a Judicator con toda su música en Sudamérica. So I'd like to thank you both for being here at this time. In Chile is like 23 of night, and in Utah is at evening. Thank you. John, PowerMetal.cl is your place in South America and in Chile. If you need something, you only have to send an email. If you need an interview, a review or something, we are open for you. So, lo mismo va Francisco. Si necesitas algo, tú sabes que PowerMetal.cl es la casa del Power Metal y estamos abiertos.
Perfecto. Muchas gracias.
Goodbye, and we will stay talking later. See ya.
Bye bye.
Chao, chao.
So, esta fue la entrevista con Judicator. Muchas gracias por estar aquí y nos vemos pronto. Cuídense, que estén muy bien.